Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We proudly present Idan Weekly Program
Weekend English Talk, or usually we call
WET. Before we start this Weekend English Talk, please let us introduce ourselves one by one. I'm Alisa from 9th grade. I live in Bekasi, and I was the first host. How about you?
Hi, I'm Rona from 8th grade. I live in East Jakarta, and I was the second host.
Now we will tell what is the sequence of session in this event.
First, there is opening and introducing ourselves as event host. Second, we move to the material session from the speaker.
Third, we move to the question and answer session. So if you have any question for our speaker, please ask in the comment section. And last, we move to closing.
By the way, Kak, what's been your hobby lately?
I think I like to read some books, and I have one hobby that maybe other people don't know about it.
Whoa, really? May I know what's the hobby?
Sure, sometimes I like to imitate other people's voices, but actually that always fails.
So you're a person who never gives up, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe. How about you, Rona? What's been your hobby lately? Your hobby also can be your job.
I often imagine that because I think it's really amazing, but how could it be?
It's a dream for many of us to spend our workday doing the thing we love, but unfortunately, for most people, it's not the reality. Instead, there's usually a divide between your professional life and the hobbies you pursue outside of working hours. But what if you could combine the two?
By the way, Kak, we must remember that we have very interesting and really inspiring speakers that can combine these two. Since we don't want to waste too much time, let's just call our special speaker,
Kak
Laila Monika. For Kak Laila Monika, please welcome.
Halo Kak Monika.
Hai Kak Monika.
Ya, halo. Assalamualaikum.
Ada suaranya? Ada suaranya?
Ada suaranya enggak?
Udah.
Hai Kak Monika.
Halo?
Okay, Kak Monika, because this is your first time as a speaker at our event, maybe many people still don't know who you are.
So, can you please expand a little bit about yourself?
Okay, thanks for the host for giving me time. Let me introduce myself. I am Laila Monika Rahmawati, and you can call me Monika. Now, I'm a student at Semarang State University, and I work as a dubber and translator.
Okay. Okay, Kak Monika, are you done to explain a little about your profile?
Yes.
Halo Kak.
Halo.
Are you done with your explain about your profile?
Yes, I have. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Okay, so now what have you been up to lately, Kak?
Now, currently, I'm finishing my final project to get graduate from the college, and of course, doing my job as a developer and translator.
And are you happy with your current job?
Of course, that was my hobby, so of course, I enjoy.
Okay. Okay. And I think it's the time for Kak Monica to show and give us the material. So,
So,
Kak
Monica,
Monica,
please
please show
show
your
your
screen.
screen.
Okay, so now our main topic this afternoon is how to make hobby as your job. And for this topic, I will explain you what is my hobby, how is my hobby relate with my job, how I got my first job as a dubber and translator, and of course, some tips and tricks for you. Then I move to the introduction. Hobby is something we usually do on free time apart from the school schedule or work, something we do when to spend our time with fun. When we think about hobby, we think about spending our money. Like when our hobby is reading, we spend our money to buy books. When our hobby is traveling, we spend our money to buy tickets, hotels, food, or whatever relate with our traveling. And then when we have hobby to be a gamer, we spend our money to buy data, buy vouchers, and everything relate with games. But what if our hobby can also produce money, not only spend money? What if our hobby is what we do for living as our job? It's exciting, right? Well, let's find out. What is my hobby? How can it be something productive? Well, I have a lot of hobby. One of them is talking. If you ask me to talk, I will gladly do that every time I have the chance to talk. I like talking in general, but talking in English is something I always do if I have the chance. But the problem is I don't really have the chance because our hobby seems pretty easy to do, but actually it's not that easy because I live in the environment where people think that if someone talk English, they think that I'm stupid, they think I'm crazy, they think I'm out of my mind. Like they don't really respect someone who speak English. So it's a little bit difficult that time. But now that I have to prove my ability and my hobby of talking in English, the situation is a lot better now. So, how do I get my first job? How is my hobby related with my job? As you already know that I have the job as a dabber, and dabber requires a lot of talking. So of course, if my hobby is talking and my job as a dabber is talk, so it really relates my hobby with my job. The first time I have a job as a dubber is from my friend. So my friend has another friend who have a video project and needs a dubber. It's a video about stocks, and this is what really interesting for me because stock is something that I don't really understand, but well, I have to learn it because that was my first hour ever as a dubber, so I gladly take it even though it's a difficult field to understand. And thankfully, the person who hire me already have the script in Bahasa, so all I have to do is to translate it to English, and he even already marked the sentence to where I have to stop, where I have to pause. So it really helpful for me because that was my first time I do dub a video. And at that time, well, until this time, I record my voice, my own voice, through my phone. So I have no fancy stuff like noise canceling or anything. I don't know anything about editing my voice. That was my boss doing that, so I don't know anything about editing. All I have to do is to record my own voice on my phone. The funny thing is, when I first record my voice, there were a lot of bird cages in front of my room, and there were birds chirping to my voice. And I don't know till my boss told me. I already sent the file to my boss, and he said, "It's good, it's all right, it's okay." But there are bird chirping voice right from the beginning until the end of my recording voice. So I was so embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I have to be really careful, but I don't do that. So yeah, that was really embarrassing story for me as a dabber. And but my boss is really a good guy, so he just want me to redo it. So that's what I do. I redo my voice recording, and of course I have to wait until the bird is not chirping again. Well, it was hard. I really wait for a long time until midnight, I think, and it took me 3 times to record my voice to finally I get my voice right, and then I sent it to my boss to review it. And yes, he accept the voice of me for dubbing his video. And then when he already transferred the money for me, I was so happy because that was my first ever money I get from my own effort. Well, it's not that much, but that was happy moment of me. And this is what important to be a dubber. Like when you do dubbing a video or anything, dubbing is actually a next level of talking. Like when you first learned about speaking English, in this case, you the main point of practicing English is to gain your confidence, to get the words out of your mouth. No matter what you say, no matter you understand or not, the main point is to get yourself talk. But if you do dubbing, if you have the job as a dubber, you have to pass this step already. You have to not only get the words out of your mouth, but of course you have to understand what you're saying. Because when you do dubbing, if you don't understand what you're saying, how can other people understand, right? And Actually, dubbing a video or anything is to get the viewer or the listener understand what our dubbing is, right. And well, you have to learn. You have to learn from your mistake. Well, there is a proverb that really comes to my mind: when you're good at doing something, never do it for free. Let people pay for it. I think this is what usually happen in hobby. Like, usually a hobby is something that we can do really good. Like, I like talking, and of course I'm good at talking. And this one, when you're good at doing something, never do it for free. Maybe you, at first, you are happy to help the people for having you as helping them for doing a project, in my case doing his video project. But you have to make yourself worth. Like, you cannot always helping people, right? You know your own value. So it's okay to let people pay for what you do if you good at doing that. In my case, I'm good at talking, I'm good at narrating something like a video. So yeah, I work as a dubber because that was my hobby, and I get money from that. So I really thankful for the those one chance I get. And at the first from the first I have the offer to dubbing a video. The next hour come not far from my first hour. Again, it's a narrating a video, still in the same guy that hired me at first, a video about stocks. It really it really helpful to learn something new, even though I don't really know about stocks. But because I dub some of the video about stocks, I learn about it. I learn about new things through this dubbing. And moving to my next job, I no I'm not only work as a dubber, but also a translator. And actually, the fun thing is, I used to doing translation better than dubbing, because that's what you do when you learn about foreign language, right? You automatically translate what the sentence are on our own language. This one, when you do translate, it requires you to know a lot of vocabulary. So for me, having physical dictionary is really help you. Using a physical dictionary is really helpful, better than using an online device or just call it Google Translate. Because when you have the physical dictionary, when you look for a word, you can clearly see what the other words are, like the word of listing in the dictionary, and you can clearly see the other words while you're searching the words you look for. But when you have the online device or Google Translate, you are being directed to the words you look for. You have no chance to look what the other words are. Well, it's maybe a little bit unusual to read the dictionary nowadays, but trust me, it works on me. Just one more thing to practice the vocabulary is to write the words. Like, when you don't know the words, you can write in on your notebook, because when you write, you automatically reading it and memorize it in your brain. It really helps. So you can gain more vocabulary daily through the writing and reading a physical dictionary. And uh, I have the offer to do translation earlier at my first year as student in college. I call that an offer because I don't really take money as my payment because well I like exploring my knowledge in English, so a generous thank you is more than okay for me at that time. But then I remember the proverb again: when you get at with something, never do it for free. Let people pay for it. But at that time, I think I don't take money as payment because I don't really think I'm that good. So yeah, just thank you. It's enough for me. But as time goes by, I learn by myself how to do translation better. I read my dictionary again. I write the words that I really don't know. I memorize it. Of course, and also I watch movie without subtitle and then try to try to translate it to Bahasa and then check the real subtitle to guess that my guess is correct or wrong. That's what I do to develop my knowledge for doing translation. The problem is same as the dubber because I don't really know how the exact field is. Like when I do dubbing a video, it's about stocks. I don't really know about stocks. And when I do translate, I do translate like an abstract, a journal, a research, or whatever the people want me to translate as long as they pay for it. And thing I the hardest thing I ever translate is a research about tax because my knowledge in economic field is really I don't know anything, so I have to check my word in my dictionary so I get the words right because sometimes the words is need to be uploaded to some website and I have to make sure that my translation is okay, my translation is word. At first, my payment is same as double. It's really not worth my effort. I think they pay me only 1,000 rupiahs per pages. Like, can you imagine 1,000 rupiahs? Nowadays, even if you buy candy, you can just buy it 1,000 rupiahs, right? So it was so cheap back then. But well, I'm really happy because that was my own effort and that was my own money. It's okay. But as time goes by, I know my own value. I know that I'm good and I know I'm confident. So I dare myself to tell people to pay higher than before. Like, well, now it of course it's more than 1,000 rupiahs per page, so I really love it. But one thing that you have to remember about doing a job as a dubber and translator is the work is not really come in time. Like sometimes one day you can have two or three tasks at the same time, but tomorrow you have nothing. So saving the money is really important for doing this kind of job. And this is the step by step how to make your hobby as job. At first, what is your hobby? You have to list the hobby and then mastering it. If you have hobby like reading or writing, just mastering it. Make your hobby as something you really good at, not only doing something for fun, but something really you nail it. And then if you already master it, you have to being productive. Do your hobby not only for fun, but something more useful. Like, for example, I have my hobby is talking. I master my ability to talk. So I'm not only talking, but I can narrate a video. I can dub a dialogue between two people, me and other people, like that. Or other example is like when you like reading a book, you can widen it to something more than just reading a book. You can maybe write a review about you the book you read, and then you can write it, you can upload it to your blog, and it can be useful for other people. Being productive is the key. And then if you already passed this step, you can set the price. Don't worry to set price because you know your own value, you know your ability. Well, it's okay to take a very cheap payment at first, but as time goes by, you have to set your price higher. Because, well, if you really want to do this kind of job, you have to dare yourself to set the price higher because, well, your effort is worth the payment, right? And then is saving. Prioritize your need. Buying something that you really need and not something that you want, because that's different. Like I said before, that this kind of job is not, well, I say it as not routine because it's not like we work at the office. We already have our task. No, it's our individually manage our own job. Like today, we can really have two tasks of dubbing, two tasks of translating, but next day you have nothing to do, and maybe until the next day again, next week again. So saving the money is really, really important. You don't want yourself to not get the money because you don't saving it right. So saving is better than you run the money. Okay. Well, no matter what your hobby is, you can always turn it to be something more productive. Having fun is okay, but isn't it better to do something fun and something productive at the same time? Because that's what the main point is for make hobby as your job. Always know your own value. Don't be scared to learn about new things because uh, when we do our job, our main our goal is to get the money, and of course we have to save the money. And well, at the same time, we can have fun because that was our hobby. Hobby is something we do for fun. Don't forget that your hobby is something you do to having fun. So yeah, that was what I do. And then I think that's all for my experience as dubber and translator. Well, I think apart from saving the money, saving the time is uh, also important because uh, not to mention I am still a student at the college, so I have also job as a student, not only as dubber and translator. So I have to do 3 works at the same time. So yeah, time management is really important for you to do. Okay, I think that's all. If you have any question, just ask. I'll be glad to answer your question.
Bentar, bentar.
Thank you, Kak Monica. Thank you, Kak Monica, for presenting the amazing material. And now we move to the question and answer session.
And by the way, we have a few questions for Kak Laila Monika.
Okay.
First, how long did it take you to learn English? Thank you, Kak Monica. Thank you, Kak Monica, for presenting the amazing material. And now we move to the question and answer session.
Okay, it takes a long time because I learned English from childhood, I think, from elementary school. But the fun thing is I don't have
Matiin.
langsung jawab apa nunggu pertanyaan lain.
Okay, second, since when did Kak Monica like dubbing?
Can you repeat the question? I don't really hear. And
Kak Monica, sorry for the connection in here. It's kind of unstable. Can you please repeat what you say?
for the first question answer or my answer for the first question or
For the second question.
yeah, I don't really hear the second question. Can you repeat?
Yes, for the answer.
First question.
Ya Allah. Coba itu. Nanya yang first question apa? Yes. Harusnya kasih headset aja. Jangan. Ya udah deh. Oke. Kamu ada yang sini. Ya Allah. Coba kak ini internetnya mati. Kalau ngomong kalau enggak, Hani, itu gedein suaranya terus taruh situ. Aku mau denger juga soalnya. Aku nggak ngerti kamu mau. Gedein suaranya terus situ. Iya. Kalau aku denger. Monika.
Yes.
Can you hear our voice?
Yeah, I can hear, but I can't hear the second question.
Sorry kak, we can't hear your voice here.
Well, me too, not really. The second question.
Thank you, Thank you, Monica, for answering our question.
Now it's your guys' turn. If you have any question for Kak Monica, please post them in the comment section. We
We
will
will
wait. Okay.
It's really nice to know
Okay,
your
so last
experience.
question, Kak Thea,
Yes.
which is, it's really nice to know your experience, Kak. May I know why you like to speak, and since when you realize that you have potential on that?
Okay. I like speak because through speaking I can really express my feelings. So that's why I really like speaking. I can connect people with speaking. And then since once I realized my potential, well, since the first time I get the offer for dubbing a video, I think uh, knowing that people uh, having so much trust on me make me realize that, oh yeah, I get the potential, so I have to learn through the potential, to my potential to get this job done and really doing better than before.
Okay. So thank you to Kak Thea for asking this question.
Next question, we got a question from Kak Raisa, which is at first did you think you could become a dubber because of what?
Well, I think it's because I really good at in speaking English. I don't know what the other reason are, but I think my voice is clear and loud uh, comparing to other people. So yeah, I can really express the feeling through my speaking, and I think that's why I can become a dubber. If you have the ability to speak clear, and if you have loud voice, you can consider yourself to be a dubber.
Thanks to Kak Raisa for asking this question. Next question, we got a question from Kak Nabila, which is how the story Kak Monika become a dubber.
Yeah, I was said it before that I become dubber at first because I help the friends of my friends because he has a video project. I helped him, and then after that I have the offer to become a dubber of another video. So since then I take my job as a dubber to narrate a video of anything I get from people who want me to dub their video.
Okay, thank you to Kak Nabila for asking this question. Next question, it's come from Kak Airin Azaria, which is, hello Kak, does the dubber have to be able to speak another language?
Well, if you mean that another language is English, I think yes, because when dubber in Bahasa, I think it's already a lot, so it's easy to find people who can dubbing in Bahasa. But in English, I think it's still a few people, so that's why I can get this job because the difficulty of finding people who can speak English, and not everyone who speaks English can be a dubber, can be an English dubber, right? So yeah, I think it's important to you to speak another language to get the chance to be a dubber.
Thanks to
Thanks to Kak Mariam for asking this question. Next question, we get a question from Kak Mariam Abdillah. What thing that inspired Kak Monika to become a dubber?
What thing that inspired me to become a dubber? I think because I really like cartoon like SpongeBob and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, because of that, because of the cartoon, I really like how the dubber can express their feeling through the animation to the cartoon. So that's why, well, I'm not a dubber of animation or cartoon. I really narrate a video, but that's what I get the inspiration from how the dubber of animation or cartoon can express their feeling through the character they're voiced. It's really fun. it's really inspiring. Because when you realize their own voice in real life, it's not the same as the character, their voice. So, well, that's really inspiring for me.
Thanks to Kak Mariam Abdillah for asking this question. Next, for the last question, is from Kak Vina, which is, long as you are a dubber at Semarang State University, have you ever been offered to be a dubber at a cartoon company or not?
Well, until this day, no, never. I've never been offered to be a dubber at a cartoon company. Well, I hope so someday, but now I'm grateful to just narrate a video. But one day, if I get the offer, I will gladly accept that offer.
I think I think there is even is enough to end here. Thank you to Kak Laila Monika for providing tips and tricks and participating in this event. And also thank you to those of you guys who have watched and asked questions.
Maybe that's all from us. If there are any mistake from this event, it's come from us, and if there's a truth, it's come from Allah. See you for the next weekend with English Talk with the new host. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Bye.